The Yankees walked into Yankee Stadium knowing they had the biggest series of the year on the docket. And for lack of better phrasing, they shit the bed. Salvaged the last game of the series, but overall this was a piss poor series as a whole. But nobody had a worse series than the Yankees starting shortstop Anthony Volpe. And now, after being benched today, there are questions about his future with this club. What's going on, guys? King of 161st. I'm back to another video, and let's start off with a breakdown of the series. It'll be quick. Not much happened. Game 4. Let's start with the positive. Jazz Chisholm and Trent Grisham put on a show. Trent Grisham hitting 2 home runs. Jazz putting up 2 home runs. Trent is having a career year, 25 home runs after not having a season of even 20. I think his career high was 17 before this. He has been a huge X factor to why we are even in a position to make the postseason like we are today. And then Jazz, there's so much I could say about this. He just put up a multi-home run game after losing his best friend the night before. To everyone out there that talks so much shit about Jazz not being a true Yankee, this is the definition of stepping up. Less than 24 hours after losing his best friend, he put on one of his best games that he's had of the second half. That takes guts. That takes a heart. That's a true Yankee. He stepped up for his teammates even when he's going through some of the hardest shit of his life. Just wanted to put that out there because I've seen so much hate towards Jazz over the past week or two, talking about how he's just not doing things the Yankee way. That is the Yankee way. That should be what we credit. Players who are willing to put it all out there, even in their toughest moment. Props to Jazz for what he was able to do on Sunday night. One more positive thing before we get into the negatives of this series. Max Fried looked like an ace. 6 innings of no-run baseball, keeping that game winnable for the New York Yankees. We've needed this for the past 2 months. We've needed this Max Fried to step up. In the past, his curveball has looked like shit. His fastball was not able to play because his curveball looked like shit. He was not able to keep the ball in the ballpark. He was not able to keep the ball off a barrel. He did every single one of these things on Friday night. That was Max Fried's best start possibly all year. He was carving up an offense that has been hot of late. An offense that has one of the biggest sensations in baseball right now in Roman Anthony. An offense that has Jarren Duran, Ceddanne Rafaela. This offense of the Boston Red Sox that we faced is a good offense, do not get me wrong. So for him to put on that type of performance and to step up in that moment was huge. And this is where the negatives start. The fact that the Yankees were not able to score behind what was a masterpiece from Max Fried is absolutely unacceptable. It is despicable. And quite frankly, I wanted to punch a hole through my fucking monitor. You knew coming into the series that you had to win a game before the Garrett Crochet start because the Yankees do not do well against star pitchers, and again, against a lefty star pitcher, you're going to lose out on some of your biggest bats like Jazz, like Rice. A lot of those guys are going to falter because Garrett Crochet is virtually unhittable against left-handed. You needed to win at least one of the first 2. Game 1 is the one that everyone talks about, how we made 3 errors in the first inning. We made up for that though. Ben Rice had the throwing error. He hit a home run. Jazz had the throwing error. He had a couple hits. He stole a base that led to a run. They were able to manufacture runs until that 8th inning error with Paul Goldschmidt that kind of sealed the deal. In game 2, the defense did everything right and Max Fried put on a masterpiece. Can we question bringing in Mark Leiter Jr. instead of Devin Williams in that spot? Because you're gonna save Bednar and Weaver for the 8th and 9th. So they were out of the question. The best option outside of Leiter in that spot is probably Devin Williams. Maybe you could have gone to Doval there, but do you really trust Doval there? I don't know. Not going to Devin Williams, there is a little bit of a question mark. But Mark Leiter only gave up 1. You knew someone had to score in this game. A game cannot end 0-0. This isn't the English Premier League. The offense putting up the type of performance they did was absolutely unacceptable. And at the forefront of this conversation is Anthony Volpe. During this series, he was 0 for 6 with 2 strikeouts, did not get on base once, and over his last 15 games, he has a 102 batting average with a 154 on base percentage and a 204 slugging percentage. 5 for his last 49 with 3 walks and 1 home run. He's almost at a 100 average over 15 games. That's 2 weeks of baseball. And every time I talk about Anthony Volpe, I preface it by saying I have been one of his biggest defenders on this app. And that is true. Everyone wrote him off in this offseason. And I was one of those guys who said, no, hold up. Last year, he had a poor season offensively. Still put up a 3-WAR season. There are players in the Hall of Fame that haven't put up a 3-WAR season in their second year of service time. Let's take a beat and let's see how he progresses. Progression is not linear. You don't just always go from year 1 being this, then year 2, 3, 4, all the way up to year 5, 6, 7, and then slowly drift down until you retire. That is a dream scenario. That is not how reality works. There's times where you'll have this, then this, then this, this. But year 3 Anthony Volpe is scary, and not in a good way. Not in the Aaron Judge in the box way, not in the Giancarlo Stanton way. In the way of, is Anthony Volpe even going to play next year? That type of scary. Because Anthony Volpe right now, like I just brought up, 5 hits in his last 49 at-bats. You want to average that out over the last month? A 186 average with a 231 on base with a 422 slugging. And that's because he had that week when we played the Marlins where he was just hitting home runs left and right. He has 6 home runs during that stretch. So his slugging percentage is a little bit inflated. And one of the reasons why I was a big defender of Anthony Volpe was because I said to myself, look, even when he has a bad offensive year, he'll always be able to make up for it with his defense. His defense will always be at a point where he'll be able to average out a 2 to 3 WAR. Him being at -7 outs above average means he has no role. There is nothing he can do on a baseball field right now. Sunday night, he gets benched for the 2nd time in August for Jose Caballero, gets told that he will not even be playing on Monday night when you're seeing this, but he'll probably be back in the lineup on Tuesday. So he's not losing his spot completely. Will he by September? Do you see this actually changing much? I don't, because he had a week where he fixed some of the issues. A lot of his issues are obvious. He swings his front hip out immediately when he starts to swing, meaning the outside pitch is virtually unhittable, and the only pitch that you can hit for power is the pitch low and in. And when the Marlins were pitching him low and in, or up and in, he was able to get to it and got his barrel to it and hit them out. When good teams play against someone with that big of a deficiency, they will take advantage. And Boston took advantage. Boston's a good fucking team. I don't feel like they're that much better than us, but they kicked our fucking ass this week because we just didn't do the little shit. And this is part of the little shit. How have we not worked on fixing his hip? What happened to the Austin Wells chicken parm fest where he just closed off his stance? Why have we not gone back to that? It seemed to be doing well for a while, and then he switched back to going normal stance, and now he's flying his hip open. There seems to be a common denominator here. I don't know if it's on James Rousing. I don't know if it's on Aaron Boone. I don't know if it's on the analytical department. I don't know if it's just on Anthony Volpe not listening. But something has to change. Jose Caballero has played 28 less games than Anthony Volpe this year. He has a 94 WRC plus, meaning he is 6% below average. He has a 1.6 F-WAR. Anthony Volpe has played 28 more than Jose Caballero. He has a 0.9 WAR. Jose Caballero has almost double the WAR of Anthony Volpe. Jose Caballero is a good, scrappy role player. In that role is very valuable to a team. But if you are the shortstop of the future, you should be able to out-WAR Jose Caballero in a role player system when you are the starting guy. The fact that Jose Caballero has doubled you up in WAR almost is absolutely ridiculous. At this point in time, I think Jose Caballero might get the majority of the reps going into the postseason based on Aaron Boone's comments today saying it's about that time of the year. That told me this is the time of year where you take no shit. You're not going to play this to develop players. You're not going to play this to let players get hot. This is the time of year where you put your best 9 on the field. Anthony Volpe is not in your best 9. He's not in many teams' best 9. What does this mean for his future? I have no clue. I'm going to leave that up to you. But when Jose Caballero is taking your spot, even if he doesn't take it for the majority of the year, and Aaron Boone gives him a second chance, the fact that Aaron Boone seems like he's thinking about it, that's a problem. Again, I'm his biggest defender, and I'm saying this. A lot of you guys have given up on him since 23. I'm at a point now where I don't know where to go with Anthony Volpe. But what do you guys think? Do you think Anthony Volpe deserves more chances to get this job? Or do you think this should be Jose Caballero's job to lose? Let me know down below. Yankees salvaged a game here, meaning they're only half a game back of Boston in the wild card. Toronto lost, making the Yankees only 5.5 back in the division. So if the Red Sox start to go on a little bit of a slide, or even just play similar to us, and we can win that series in Toronto, who knows what could happen here. Yankees are still hopefully going to make the postseason. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button. Crazy shit, man. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.